world, and welcome to Development Heaven, the ensemble racing game of podcasts. I am a plastic steering wheel, Vincent Marinelli.
And I'm using tilt controls. It's Glenn Cagle.
This week, if you haven't guessed, it is racing games. Real solid through line there. We both have a couple of good old-fashioned racing games to talk about.
Good and also old-fashioned.
You ever think about how, if we do call ourselves an ensemble racing game, there's only two of us. But you know, has there ever been like any sort of ensemble game, you know, a Smash Bros type with just two characters, you know, like any fighting game or racing, anything like that?
You're talking about like unfinished, like they added the main character and the secondary character, but they didn't get any further?
No, I'm just thinking like, wouldn't, for balancing purposes, the perfect game only be two characters?
Right. Oh, well, that's like Nidhogg.
That's true. Okay, Nidhogg is a good example.
I was gonna say, like, what story could we base it off of? And like, the first one that comes to mind for me is the story of Cain and Abel. It only has two characters.
Okay, there aren't that many Bible games. Not enough good ones, at least.
Mm-hmm. So we could have a fighting game. I feel like Abel might be at a bit of a disadvantage.
But he has, you know, a higher speed stat. So.
And Cain has a rock.
Cain has a rock. That's true. I think we could balance it.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we can't always dip into this well because it's not sustainable, but what would the DLC be for the Cain and Abel fighting game? Who's your dream roster?
Okay, we can't do Jeezy.
It's for me it's Gino from Super Mario RPG.
In the Cain and Abel fighter?
Yeah, in Cain and Abel fighter.
Okay. So it doesn't have to stay true to the source material.
Well, it depends on how you feel about Gino, I guess.
I don't know, man. I'd have to go with Sans, honestly.
Sans is a good call. I feel like him or like, you know who doesn't get enough attention? Toad. Put Toad in it. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Toad is part of Peach's kit.
Yeah, and that's the problem. He deserves a slot, in my opinion.
I guess, yeah, they can't add Toad to the game because then if Peach used her Toad and against Toad, it just wouldn't work.
So Cain versus Abel featuring Toad from the Super Mario series and Knuckles. Glenn, who do you think's going first this week, my friend?
I think we're gonna do a little bit of a race. So you've got your D6 in front of you.
I do.
Yep. And we're just gonna roll the die, and the first and to get their die sum to 10 wins. So start at 0, roll the die, add the value.
All right, rapid fire. Ready for this? You count us down.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, I got a 1. Off to a great start.
3, 2, 1.
I'm at 4
6,
now.
It's 9.
All right, I'm at 5.
13.
Wow.
I beat you.
Okay, but you went over.
Is that okay? Fine. Start over.
But that
Ready?
means that you won.
3, 2, 1, go. Say, oh, I fell on the floor. Damn it.
No, you won. You won.
Okay.
My joke was, you went over. Pause. So you won. I was gonna have a little subversion, but you subverted my subversion and started playing again.
And I would have fucking beat you again too if you'd give me the chance.
Yeah, I rolled like 3 1s in a row. All right, so I guess you're up first, Vincent.
All right, let me put my dice away. Hey, Glenn, tell me how this sounds.
Ooh, I like that.
I have it in a little tobacco pouch.
Oh, that's classy.
Glenn, because I'm a dice goblin. Get it?
I don't get it.
Do you want to explain? I'll probably take this out, but you hate dice.
It's like my antithesis. I don't hate dice.
You have a burning passion, a vendetta even, against the concept of funny colored rocks.
Not dice themselves. The people who are like, I only use my dice at D&D because my dice are better. Or the people that spend a bunch of money to get like the highest quality dice. That's what I'm... Because it subverts the whole thing of randomness.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on a rant here, but you're kind of steering us in that direction.
I'm poking and prodding at your little buttons. I think you just hate.
It's like if it was actually random, then it wouldn't matter whose dice you used.
Sure.
So either it's not random, and you're like, and your dice are weighted, or you would be fine using anyone's dice.
You ever play Yu-Gi-Oh?
The Heart of the Cards?
Are you familiar with the Heart of the Cards?
I have played Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay, I haven't, but I assume that's the mentality.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I never watched the show, but I'm told that his, like, the Heart of the Cards went so far as to give him cards that he had already played before. Which implies that he's cheating, but, I guess because the cards did it, not him, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's what I tried to tell my wife about my gambling addiction. Yeah.
Good shit. So, Glenn, my game this week
A gamer's game.
A gamer's game, a game for real men and women who owned the Nintendo DS by the name of Mario Motors, a canceled racing/engine simulation game for the aforementioned Nintendo. What was that? What did DS stand for? Dual screen?
Yep,
Yeah, double screen. Classic situation.
So how many Mario races are there? Because there's like Mario Kart.
That is the only one. Okay. I think that's
the one you're talking about.
That's the main series. So this game never came out. But assumingly, I assume it would have had something to do with the Mario Kart franchise. There isn't that much known about it, but we'll explore that a little bit more as we go.
And if this was DS, it would have been after the original Mario Kart, obviously.
Yeah, it sounds like this was like pitched after Mario Kart had already come out. Mario Kart DS. You're a big Mario Kart DS fan. You stand by that game.
Yeah, oddly enough, that's my favorite Mario Kart game.
You come to me and you say, and you're like,
Come to me.
You say, and you tell me,
and you tell me, you ask me to do fudging on the day my daughter's racing.
I go and I sit down and I'm like, hey Glenn, let's play some Mario Kart. And you're like, is it on the DS? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's on the Switch. And you're like, oh, I can't. And you like throw up a little bit in your mouth. And I'm like, dude.
I throw up a little bit on your Switch.
You throw up on my Switch, like, dude, not in front of the ladies. But you just can't help yourself. So I guess it's probably because Rob is in it, right? Rob the robot, and that's the reason.
No, it's Yoshi.
Oh, Yoshi's in all of them, dumbass.
I don't care. Only the Yoshi in the DS one is good enough for me.
That's fair.
Yeah. So Mario Motors, like, why was it? I don't know. It seems weird that they would go for another racing game when they were just like revving up this Mario Kart franchise.
Well, it sort of tackles a different genre in a way. So it was in conjunction with Miyamoto, but it was like helmed, pitched originally by a man by the name of Yu Saito. He was a fairly large game developer. People know his name.
Okay.
My understanding, he made Odama, which is pretty like popular. He also made a game on the Genesis. I want to say like one of the most popular Genesis games called Seaman. This game was never officially announced by Nintendo, so all the facts I have for this report are word of mouth from Saito himself, and there's like a few leaked images that are interesting, but I'll describe those as they come up.
We'll be putting those images, transmitting them through the airwaves directly into your brain. So
into your contact lenses, which project images in front of you.
The thing is, by the time we get this episode out, that technology will exist.
Well, there's a chance it'll exist, so place your bets.
I would say good one, but I don't think that was supposed to be a joke.
$20. Glenn, are you familiar with the phrase sculpting chunk? That's the top of my report. Do you know what sculpting chunk means?
No.
Then give me your best guess. I'll give you a clue. It has nothing to do with cars.
Okay, sculpting chunk sounds to me like Michelangelo getting a chunk of marble and just chipping away at it with his chisel.
Right. Not far off.
Letting out the goddess inside or whatever he said.
Right, the original, the penis.
Letting
I went
out the
straight
penis
to penis.
Inside. Yeah.
That was too obvious. I deserve to have my podcaster card removed.
For saying penis once?
Yeah, for penis, for saying, well, it was just too easy.
This is a great episode.
This is a good episode so far, I think. If you look up sculpting chunk, it doesn't come up with what Saito says it is, but it is sculpting objects made out of metal chunks. Apparently, he was getting really into during the early 2000s, like those videos of like dudes making, not dudes, but like Apple, how the MacBook is made, and you get these big chunks of metal, and you like spin them real fast and blast them with water. You know what I mean?
Like a lathe?
What's a lathe? Probably.
That's when you spin an object really fast and cut it.
Yeah, so that.
It's how they make like chair legs and stuff, like round chair legs.
And so this guy Saito was crazy about this stuff, and so that's where the story begins. It was Saito, Satoru Iwata, and Shigeru Miyamoto, the latter being two of the biggest heads of Nintendo at the time.
Never heard of them.
We've talked about them in the past, but I know you're joking.
Mario Motor.
Just hurts a little bit. Anyway, they were good buds, apparently, Saito and the gang, and they would frequently just hang out and get some tea and like chat about, video games or what else happened in the early 2000s? Jean jackets.
Jean jackets, sure.
Anyway.
I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of like 80s nostalgia.
In the early 2000s?
In the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. They were just talking about the Terminator. I think
just
Terminator
like a lot
3
of
would have come out
movies,
at some point.
I don't know. Maybe the movies I was watching had a lot of weird references.
Uh-huh. They're talking about the Matrix, it was, or like Will Smith.
There you go. Now we're just doing the same thing that we're making fun of them for doing.
Yeah, and anyway, they're talking about video games.
Hey, so you remember the 2000s?
It was a good time. They were talking about Shrek.
Hey, so you remember being 5?
Yeah, I do remember being 5.
Do you? Because I don't.
What did I do at 5? There's like I was at a pumpkin patch.
Oh, the pumpkin patch! I remember the pumpkin patch.
Yeah, bro. But they were talking about video games, right? That's what they do. And Iwata asked Saito a question, which I find very interesting. Well, it's just the way that they handle game development at the time was Iwata asking Saito, "What have you been interested in lately?"
Okay.
And Saito just said, "I don't know. I'm into sculpting chunk. I'm into spinning metal and making things out of it."
What's the Japanese word for sculpting chunk?
Oof. Should I look it up right now? Should I Google?
Well, if we want to have this historical accuracy.
Right. Okay.
チャンクの彫刻
So if you didn't get
nice.
that, Chanku no Chokoku.
Good one.
His actual quote, which is very nice, is it was just really appealing to a middle-aged dude like him. He was just crazy about this stuff.
Yeah,
and
okay, I can see that.
Apparently the other two didn't really get it. He was just talking about it. They were just kind of like staring at him like, okay, but the what they said was, let's give it a try,
Yeah,
and
that's all you can do, really.
That's the best you could hope for, right?
Man, imagine having so much sway in your company that you can just say what you're into right now, even if it's something that nobody else cares about.
I would love to incorporate that into the podcast.
That's kind of already what we do.
For the rest of this episode, what did he say? What are you interested in lately?
I've been watching a lot of Breaking Bad.
Okay, so this is now a Breaking Bad fan cast. What else is in Breaking Bad? All those mineral jokes.
Minerals, that's good.
Yeah, so that's good.
Garlic knots are also good.
Garlic. No, he says, what is it? Dipping sticks?
Dipping stick? Is that dipsticks?
I think it's dipping sticks.
What you put in your engine?
No, like what you dip into.
And that's a
marinara
segue
sauce.
into racing.
That was good. You gave it to me, and I just wasted it.
No, what you dip in marinara, idiot.
So this game eventually, pretty quickly transformed into Mario Motors, or at least that was the code name for it. They mocked up a little tech demo, and what we know about it is that it used the touchscreen to carve out pieces of an engine.
Okay.
There was a similar tech demo that you can find back in like 2000.
You make your own engine?
Yes. So that is the conceit of the game. You make the piece of the engine, assemble the engine, and they don't go into it. He doesn't go into it in the interview, but I assume you then race with the car.
Yeah, probably not.
I would hope so, unless it's like
it's good. I mean, that's like way ahead of its time because My Summer Car came out in the 2010s.
I haven't heard of this. Is that a game?
Yeah, you put a car together.
Oh, okay.
It's just like it gives you all the parts, like all the literally from scratch, like the nuts and bolts, and you put a car together, and it's just
Right.
like it's kind of like a Zen thing, like a rock garden, just like a long-term process.
I like that.
Yeah.
So this is the same thing, but also you can play as Mario or whatever.
Right.
He said that they used the engine, like game engine, from an earlier DS tech demo from like 2004. And it was whatever that word you used earlier, but the tech demo was you spin like a log and then you carve it into a shape.
A lathe?
Yeah, lathe, or it's like you spin a watermelon or whatever.
Okay. Actually, I like that. That'd be fun. Fun to mess around with on a DS.
They used that technology to build engine pieces.
Right.
The other key gameplay feature that he highlighted in this interview, this was in like a few years ago. I want to say like 2018. Saito was at some panel and he was just talking about why the game was canceled, basically.
I see. So why was it canceled?
Well, actually, it's a funny story. I'll get to it. But for now, the other key feature was the microphone. If
they were all about the microphone in the DS.
They were wild about it. I was about to say, anybody that's played
Ace
a
Attorneys.
DS minigame.
That's something that comes to mind for me is Ace Attorneys, because you got to like shout objection into the mic.
Oh, that's fun. I know all of the Mario minigame collections. It was like blow into your microphone and Luigi floats or something.
Blow into your microphone and Luigi gives Mario a blowjob.
That sucks, Glenn.
Uh-huh.
Give me your podcast card.
You can't take my podcast card if you don't have a podcast card.
I'm taking yours, and I'm assuming your identity.
Cool.
So it's assumed that this blowing mechanic with the microphone was going to be used to teach acceleration, which means like your breath would simulate aerodynamics.
Could they gauge that?
I don't know.
I kind of feel like it would be like you're blowing and it would be going like super fast or not at all.
That's about what the gameplay in other games that used it were like, so you're probably not far off. I think it was more of a gimmick.
Yeah, there was that one thing in Ace Attorneys where you had to like blow off the dust. You had to like put fingerprinting dust on it. You had to blow it off, but it was really just like you're spraying spit all over your DS. My
DS, when I bought it, had its microphone broken, and so I didn't know what was wrong, but it would just be like, blow in your microphone, and I would do it, and nothing would happen. I would be like, I'm the worst at this game. Man. Why am I so bad at this?
I'm the worst at blowing.
Yeah, and it stuck with me. Tell you what, I still if anybody asks me, hey, blow up this balloon for me, I shrink up for a second, I freeze, and I go, no, I can do this.
If anyone says blow into your saxophone.
It's true. You know what? I was the world's worst saxophone player because I just had no confidence in my blowing capabilities. I think I could find a worse
saxophone player, Vincent.
Well,
me.
They were yeah, but you're probably better at Ace Attorney than me.
Yeah, man.
So the thing I like about Mario Motors, the thing that I think makes it interesting, or at least different than a regular Mario Kart, is there's like a learning game kind of slant to it.
I really dig that.
Because, did you have any good learning games growing up?
I had like
surely
some
you had
games and
something.
Stuff.
Okay.
Typing games. I had some typing games.
Right. I had a DS game that was like, it was Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, but you're doing math. Like one of those.
Yeah.
It's like throwing flashcards at you, and it's like, Indy's trying to cross the river. Do 4 times 10.
And if you get it right, he goes.
And he does it. And you know what? I'm good at math now.
I'll say.
And so that's the point here, is that I'm not good with cars. I'm not a car guy, I can't tell you the parts of an engine, but if I were to craft them with my breath and then assemble them for the good red brother, I would probably be a car guy to this day.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, I know this is like
kind
direction.
of a meme, but like that really does actually sound like something kind of cool.
That wasn't a joke. I'm serious. I honestly think that I mean, if we're talking about insecurities, the blowing one wasn't real, but the fact that I don't understand car parts is kind of legitimate, because if I were to ever be stranded on the road, I wouldn't be able to make heads or tails of that. It's a real life, skill set that I don't have. And if Mario could teach me, hey, he taught me geography and Where in the World is Mario, or whatever that game was called. Mm-hmm. Mario is missing,
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm totally with you on that one, because like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like my programming prowess comes from the fact that even as a little kid, I was playing. I was using a game maker, and I was playing a lot of games that involved like putting instructions together for like a robot. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever played one of those, but there's a lot of them.
Okay.
Okay, and you've got like this thing that's like move left, move right, turn 90 degrees, and you like put them in the right order, and it makes the robot get the things.
Okay, you have told me about these games before. Yeah,
they're all over the place. Mm-hmm. And then you get fancy with it, and you have the robot like check, like, is there a wall in my way? If yes, then turn left. And then you have like, is there a and then you have like a loop where it's like you don't have to put move left like 100 times. You can put move left in a inside of a loop, so it loops that through that.
You introduce the concept of emotion.
Right, and then you crack AI.
Yeah. That is the gameplay that we know about. It's pretty bare bones. It seems like it got scrapped pretty early on. Apparently, part of it, this isn't the reason for the cancellation, but they were like, Nintendo was like, we love blowing on the microphone. You know this. We love it. We can't get enough of it. But you might have went a little too heavy with it, because apparently they were testing it. And they were like, oh, kids are they're gonna get out of breath. They're gonna get sleepy playing this game.
And the Nintendo Vitality sensor was nowhere in sight. So
nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
They couldn't tell that these kids were passing out trying to make car engines. Uh-huh. Let's talk about the few leaked images of Mario Motors that we have.
Okay.
Not much. Like I said, pretty bare bones.
When I look it up, I just find pretty much only the logo.
Right. So besides the logo, there's a couple of screens, none of which really showing gameplay, but showing like charts and models as if it was the instructions portion of the game. So it's like, it's engine parts and so forth. A few of them show an older looking character with like white hair and a mustache.
I see that guy.
And a pointer stick, and he's like saying instructions or something in Japanese. I don't know. I couldn't translate them. According to the source Unseen64, which I used for the most part to research this game, the writer for this article named Monokoma has posited the theory that older character is in fact a older version of Mario.
Okay. Which is odd, because in this picture I see them standing next to each other.
He is standing next to Mario, which raises a few questions, such as how Mario found himself transported back through time.
He goes so fast. He builds an engine that goes so fast that he can travel back in time.
Okay, you see, I feel like they would do that, though. That's an interesting twist.
Right, yeah, I'm into it. Or maybe you get like the different kind of fuel or something that allows you to go back in time. The what is it? The Mr. Fusion from Back to the Future.
Yeah, flux capacitor. Other Back to the Future words.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
I think it's really impressive. If this game was like meant to like simulate an entire engine, like we've talked about how there was like that mechanic on Ready Player One,
right?
And how like assuming that a mechanic has a job in Ready Player One universe in the Oasis, that means that the engine is like fully simulated. Like every single particle, like velocity and position and acceleration are simulated in the engine, or like in the game. So if they were like gonna make like a fully simulated engine like on the DS, that's pretty impressive, pretty ambitious, I would say.
It would have taken some work, I would say.
Yeah.
And if we assume that this is within the canon of the Mario Kart universe, for example, you would have to assume that all of those karts are built in a similar fashion, and it just expands the lore a little bit. It fleshes out the world.
Right. It's very Mad Max.
I was also thinking Mad Max.
Wouldn't it be cool? This is an idea I've had before. I think I've told you about it. Where like, it doesn't have to be Mad Max universe, but that's kind of what I picture in my head. Where like you kind of cut up cars and like trucks and 18-wheelers, and you turn them into your rig that you drive around. And you're kind of like these like road pirates, where you like it's like ships, like the high seas, but it's on like paved dirt or paved road or dirt or something.
And you know how you would do unlockable characters is you would find, Donkey Kong sitting in the wasteland, and you
save
would
him,
do
or you
his
do a
side
mission
quest.
for him, and now
you
he's
do
on
a
your
mission,
side.
and now he's your road dog.
He's your
100%.
He's your scurvy road dog.
So here's the format for this episode. I'm nearing the end of this segment. We will do your racing game, and then we will come back to do a final pitch. Similar to the video game pitches we've done in the past.
That's interesting.
And
I've got, because I was thinking about doing a pitch thing for mine, so we can do like duel of the pitches, and we pitch the better one at the end.
We do the double pitch situation, absolutely.
Double pitch sitch.
The double pitch sitch. Let's get there.
All right.
We can figure out, when we need to, why Old Man Mario has been cast back into the past. But for the time being, let's talk about why the game was canceled.
Cast back into the past fast.
Do you want to know why this game was canceled? I know it's on all our minds.
I'm on the edge of my seat, Vincent.
We're all thinking it. I bet we all have a reason in our heads, but I'll tell you what, it's wrong. Your assumption, it's not right.
That it was too hard to simulate an engine.
Right. On a Nintendo DS.
Especially assuming that the user has is a beginner and doesn't know how engines work. It's probably not going to be the most efficient thing.
No, that's true. And you know what else? I'm only just now realizing this. It probably wouldn't be a very well simulated engine.
That's kind of what I was implying earlier. It was pretty ambitious.
Yeah,
it seems like it might have been easily exploitable. Mm-hmm. Like if you just put the parts together in this certain way, then you go then it like maxes out your speed or something.
Yeah. So listen, during this panel, when asked why the game was canceled, here is Saito's quote. He said, "I can't tell you why, but please guess."
Oh no!
So that's my call to action for you, Glenn.
Please
guess. Do it.
I did.
Do it, and that's the canon.
I guess it was too hard.
Yeah, do it again though. I didn't like that one.
Please guess. Oh.
My bet would be they couldn't pin down the story.
Yeah, man.
It was kind of all over the place.
They wrote the entire story, and then they realized it was just Back to the Future, and they're like,
I mean, classic blunder, right?
Classic blunder.
And Mario, Nintendo famously family friendly, and Mario sleeping with his mom is just not something that Nintendo was ready to.
But we would finally figure out who Mario's mom is.
Do we see Mario's parents in the Yoshi's Island games?
I feel like they hatched from eggs. Which doesn't mean they don't have parents, but I think that Homo Nintendus or whatever, they hatch from eggs.
You reminded me of a quote from the Super Mario Super Show, which might have some of the answers to our questions, assuming it's canon, where Mario tells Luigi, like, they're talking about plumbing, and Luigi says, Mario, he says, you were born with a plunger in your hand, and Mario goes, "It was hell on Mom." And so that's all I have to say about that.
That was in a kid's show.
That's
very nice.
Yeah. So
Ew.
That's just something to consider. Is all I ask. So anyway. Game canceled.
All I ask is that you guess.
All I ask is that you just walk away from this without any answers. and don't. He probably has a Twitter. I don't know. Tweet at him,
please. If we all get together and tweet at him, he will not be able to withstand the pressure.
Our army,
just like with the engine that I built in Mario Motors, it would not be able to withstand the pressure.
I would just put a block in there and just see what would happen.
Just wait. It just rolls down the hill.
Well, did you ever do? You definitely did because we were
Pinewood
both in
Derby.
Scouts. I was thinking Pinewood Derby.
Yeah,
The
man.
secret was just making them heavier.
Yeah, well, and you want to keep like the weight over the axle rather than like in wherever else.
Yeah, so we do that, but Mario.
And you want to, yeah. That's cool.
That's cool. I also think that's cool.
Yeah.
That's the end of my segment.
Cool. All right, so this week I wanted to talk about everyone's favorite canceled racing game, Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
Canceled, you ask?
Canceled, I'm asking you.
Obviously, Grand Theft Auto is a major franchise right now, but
They've got like 5 of them.
yeah, there's like at least like 5, I think. But when they were first working on it, the DMA Design, the company that was kind of in charge of it, tried to shut down the team that was working on it like several times.
Wow.
And so we'll talk about that. First off, let's get out the stats. Came out in it was October 1997. DMA Designed out of Scotland was working on this.
Okay. And we can do a fun voice.
Do a fun voice.
That's the episode
now. I included that so that I could do a fun voice.
Right.
What do Scottish people say?
Something about
freedom.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't do Scottish. We've had this discussion in real life.
We don't have to have it on air if you don't want to.
I can't roll my R's. Now you all know my great shame.
Mm-hmm.
This episode's really cutting into my
Vincent,
soul.
Yeah.
I can't whistle either.
Oh well, I never mind.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I mitigated your thing.
No, it's good.
But
it was an arcade style. This is dumb.
No, it's good.
So at the time there was like kind of like an arcade style game.
Mm-hmm.
They had this idea that they wanted to make like a racing crashing open world. They had a lot of adjectives in their pitch.
Okay.
As pitches tend to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it first came out, or the first idea was kind of like this like arcade style get the points kind of game. Where each level is like one of the 3 cities that are featured in the actual games that did come out. So that's like Liberty City, which is an ape on New York.
Okay, I know San Andreas is one of them.
Yeah, and then
a third,
whatever the other one is. They're based off of New York, Las Vegas, and
Los Santos, I think it's called.
Los Santos. So
Before
I think that was based off
us.
of Los Angeles. We're gonna get flamed because I'm not sure. Anyway. Each level was one of those cities, and the objective was to get a certain number of points, and then go to the goal area, whatever that is, like the exit.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, I mean,
is an adjective I'm sure they used in their pitch.
Groundbreaking. Why is that?
Yeah, because that seems like a pitch kind of word.
Mostly they just emphasized like how much action there was going to be in it.
Okay, so action oriented would be another one.
Yeah. Car racing, car crashing, demolition
crashing.
derby. I don't know.
Demolition. That's good.
Those are words that they used.
These are all good words.
They were like, yeah, you can score points by breaking things, like in Lego Star Wars. You can also run over people. That was in there from the very beginning.
Also Lego Star Wars related.
Have pedestrians that you could just run over.
Okay.
Cool, I guess. That was in the original pitch as a selling point. And demolition, right?
They're going for realism, right, Glenn?
Human demolition.
Yeah.
The main way that you get points instead of breaking things is by completing the missions. That you would go to like a payphone and they would give you a mission that's like, hey, I don't know, do this, and you would do it and you would get money for it. Okay. Anyway, the real groundbreaker here was none. I mean, all of that was stuff that we'd already seen, but the real groundbreaking aspect here was that it was they pioneered the top-down 3D perspective. So the gameplay's still in 2D. You're still using your stick to move up, down, left, right. But the buildings, as you scroll past them, have this like parallax, like 3D kind of effect. I think we saw that in Pokemon Heart Gold, and
I know what you're talking about.
Some other games.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool. You know what, Vincent? Maybe I should have led with this. You're a big fan of launch titles, yeah?
Crazy about him, sure.
Or
Let me tell you,
pitch
Knack
titles
2.
or working titles or whatever. The game was originally going to be dubbed Race N Chase.
And which console was this one selling for?
Windows machine, MS-DOS.
Windows machine. See, it would have done better if they had stuck with that.
Why do you say that?
Because it's a brilliant name.
It has no spaces, only apostrophes.
Ooh, even better.
Yeah, and there's it's race apostrophe in apostrophe chase. I'm into it. But yeah, like I said, the original pitch had a lot fewer crimes. It was race and chase, not race and murder.
They put it wearing their heart on their sleeves.
It was race and chase, not race and embezzlement. It was race and chase, not race and tax fraud.
You've written all of these down.
Yeah, I haven't. I was hoping you would play along with me because now I just...
It's race and chase. You gotta give me a second. Hold on. You're killing me here, Glenn. What are the big ones? Race and chase, not race and clog up a subway with multiple vehicles so that a train will hit them.
Grand Theft Auto?
That's the only things I've ever done in Grand Theft Auto when I played at a friend's house.
I was just saying progressively less and less severe crimes.
Oh.
That would be less entertaining in video game form. Such
Race
as
and
tax
loiter.
fraud. Yeah, so they had much fewer crimes. Another difference was that a lot of the missions were like just race across the city, get from point A to point B as fast as possible, which, as I understand it today, that's still like a large portion of the game is just like getting from point A to point B in a car while somebody chases you.
Right.
So, I don't know. I guess that's kind of still in there. But you no longer get your missions at a payphone. But yeah, and some were like a free roaming demolition derby that was just like, hey, go around the city and destroy this many of this thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
like
I mean, it's not too far off from the original one, but it was much more racing heavy.
Right.
But the key component here is that even from the very beginning, being able to get out of your car, walk up to another car, pull out the driver and get in, and start driving that car was a mechanic. That's what set it apart from other racing games.
It's the touchstone.
Yeah. Hence, why it eventually got changed to Grand Theft Auto. Anyway, which is weird because that phrase is only used in the U.S. to describe auto theft.
Okay, even though it's a Scottish game.
Even though it's a Scottish game, yeah. They were making it for American audiences. Obviously, the cities were American cities. So, let's talk about the development because there's a lot of weird development stuff going on with this. Yeah. The producer David Jones cited Pac-Man as an influence for this game.
I love that.
Because, I mean...
What an era.
I mean, it's basically the same thing, right? Like a city is basically like a maze. And running over pedestrians is basically like eating dots. And getting chased by the police is basically like running from ghosts.
Okay. I thought you were doing a joke, but that's true, actually.
No, I'm saying it like it's a joke because it's funny, but that is something that the dude said.
But that's very accurate, yeah. And in a way, I mean, Pac-Man lore is its own little chestnut, and we could toy around with as we see fit.
It's race and chase, not race and crack the chestnut.
Good shit, Glenn.
So they had all the developers on it had worked on like other open world games at the time. So back before in the mid 90s and late 80s, there was the Space Trader games were actually pretty big, which is weird because there's like I don't hear much about them at all nowadays, other than like EVE Online and stuff like that.
No, what is a Space Trader? Just real fast.
You fly from planet to planet. It's just like a space cowboy simulator where you go from planet to planet, buying and selling goods and doing missions for people and stuff like that.
Yeah, those have fallen by the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they could still play. I feel like Breath of the Wild had such success. I mean, it would just be that, but in space. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And there's elements of that in No Man's Sky, I would say.
Were there missions in No Man's Sky? I feel like that was where it fell short, is there was like nothing to do.
It could be.
Yeah. Anyway, but like a lot of the people working on the original GTA had worked on Space Traders in the past, and and so they were channeling that open world mission oriented energy into this game.
Okay. I mean, I like it. I like the sound of that.
Yeah. The creative director Gary Penn said that the finished game turned out to just be basically Elite in a city. Elite being the premier space trader of the time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
The Dark Souls of space traders.
Dark Souls of space traders. Yeah, the Dark Souls of video games. Originally, they had this like cops and robbers feel going on, but they found out that everyone just wanted to play as the robber. Like they only did the robber missions.
Okay.
So they're like, all right, fine, it's Grand Theft
How would
Auto
you
now.
play
Fuck
as
the police.
a cop mission anyway? That sounds boring.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like
Well, okay, if we're approaching this from the angle of you can choose either one, how do you in narrative say I'm a criminal here and then also a cop here?
I think the story was just not there. So
Okay.
it was just like an arcade game where it's like, here's a level, beat it. You know what I mean?
Okay. But everyone used their quarters on the robber section.
Well, it was never actually. I don't know. The version that I'm talking about was like originally for PC, so it wouldn't have been a quarter thing. It was just like.
You didn't put quarters in your PC?
No, Vincent.
You
don't tell me.
Wait, no. Hold on. You're kidding, right? This is a bit that you're doing.
No.
There's it's where you put your headphones in. You would crinkle up a little quarter and shove it in there, right?
Can you show me how you crinkle a quarter?
How I crinkle a quarter up? Well, you rub it in your hands until it gets warm. You use a lathe, if I can refer back. So that's a callback. And you just fit them where they go in the various crevices. Old computers were chock-a-block full of various crevices. You can't tell me you couldn't shove at least a few quarters.
So these are the quarters. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get this show on the road. Yeah, I mentioned that DMA Design, the company that was in charge of it, tried to shut them down more than once.
Right.
That's because none of the very specific milestones that DMA set for them were met.
Oh, I already don't like where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, they had like dates and everything, like begin development on April 4th of 1995. Complete the game design on 31st of May, 1995, and like finish the engine by July 3rd, and zero of these were met. So there's not much digging to do here. I mean, that's why it got shut down, or almost got shut down, and why it went through so many changes.
Yeah.
And they basically had to fight at every turn. They had to fight to keep the idea alive.
Appease the man.
Yeah, it also had
these suits up in their boardrooms,
in their ivory towers,
playing PC games,
playing
Pac-Man, and saying, "Yeah, but what if it was not Pac-Man?
What if it was murder?"
Whoa, see, that's something. What if you make them into ghosts? Think about it.
Now that's a spicy turn. They plan to release the game on the Sega Saturn, but the Sega Saturn, as we all know, like it kind of just failed.
Right.
I think it was released, but it just never got popular, and so they were like, not worth it. They also had a GTA 64 game that was planned for the Nintendo 64.
You guessed it.
But it got canceled, and nobody knows why. Probably similar reasons to, not meeting any of the milestones.
Yeah. My bet, my knee-jerk reaction would be it was like a disk drive thing.
Yeah, they said that the game was it was pretty big. Like the levels were pretty large, so it was like, I mean, it was made for PC, so they could just go as big as they wanted, honestly.
Yeah.
But that said, they did release a version for the Game Boy Color, which was apparently like revolutionary for the Game Boy Color because no other game had such big levels or so much memory dedicated to it.
That's cool. Yeah. I like that.
Obviously, it's a Nintendo thing. They had to get rid of all the swearing and gore. But apparently, if you put in your name as I am Gary Penn, not Gary Penn, but I am Gary Penn as your name, you will get the original dialogue, which is dubbed the super swearing version.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Who's Gary Penn?
He's the creative director. I mentioned him earlier.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So get fucked.
So okay, I wasn't paying attention.
No, you're good.
Nice, good for that guy.
Good for that guy.
It's a shame. It's I would, but I'm not him, so I can't.
You can't put that
otherwise
in.
I can't use that code. Otherwise, I'd be lying.
Right, which is a crime. Hey, it's race and chase, not race and lie, Vincent.
It's race and chase, not race and identity theft.
There we go. Hey, I've got this quote from Gary Penn.
Okay.
Where somebody
You mean
asked him in an interview,
executive director, creative director Gary Penn?
creative director Gary Penn, you got it.
Nice.
Where one of the someone giving him an interview asked him something like, "Hey, how come you can just mow down Krishnas or whatever?"
What?
Do you know that word?
No.
I didn't either until I read this. It's like a thing from like I think Hinduism.
Okay.
Referring to, I guess, like Hindu. I don't know if they're Hindu monks or just Hindus. They're referring to a specific sect of people that you can kill in GTA.
Okay.
Anyway, they're like, hey, is it a problem that you can kill these people? And he's like, look at it purely in game terms.
Mm-hmm.
Should I do a Scottish voice?
Yes, absolutely. Do a Scottish
Look
voice.
at it purely in game terms. I've got this toy that I'm thrusting down the street. Forget it's even a car. I see a line of something I can influence in a dramatic way. As I run into them, and it clearly reacts to the fact that I'm running into them. I chain them. I fucking chain them.
Wow. All right. It's a hell of a quote.
No, it's a gamey thing to do. I'm gonna stop.
No, you've served your time.
Anyway, he goes on to talk about how it's like a gamey thing. It's like it's a game, so think about it in terms of games, not in terms of, hey, it would be really good if I run down a Krishna.
Right. So the conceit being you're playing GTA, forget about the morality of.
Yeah, you bought this game.
Yeah.
Unless you didn't. Unless you're playing it on your older brother's.
It's Crash. It's Race and Crash, not Race and
Race and Crash.
Race and Trace. What was it called?
Race and Chase.
Race and Trace. It's Race and Crace.
Yeah.
Race and Trace, not Race and game piracy.
There you go. You wouldn't download a video game. So I don't know. Do we want to talk about like how we could incorporate the changing cars thing into a regular racing game?
I mean, I think you mentioned Mad Max earlier.
Yeah.
And when I think of, like, there hasn't been a good Mad Max game to my knowledge.
Full Throttle was apparently really good. I don't think it wasn't Mad Max, but it was like, sport. It was sports cars and motorcycles in the desert.
That's cool. So I say we lean into that a little bit. So let's you know what? Not to set a precedent, only to immediately break it. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to do a thing where we like flesh out each pitch. But what if we those two ideas kind of work really well together?
Yeah, man.
I almost want to combine them. So here's the thing. Here's the problem, is that each of those games individually weren't good enough to be full games, right? Yeah. History has determined this.
Yeah.
So maybe what they need, a little kick in the pants, is just combine them like a...
Okay.
Like,
so you build your car,
like a
you work really
Goku
hard on
fusion.
lathing out all your engine parts, and you assemble your car, and you're racing, and then somebody else hops out of their car, holds you at gunpoint, pulls you out of your car, and hops into your car that you spent hours working on and drives away in it.
Oh, and that would hurt so bad.
And you would want to do it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man. Okay.
Wait. So
this is
so we can make it like open world, like those Space Trader games, but it's
absolutely
like
open
auto
world.
parts trader.
Okay.
Instead of building and upgrading your spaceship, you're building and upgrading your rig.
I want to keep the ensemble racing game.
Okay, so we need
concept
an IP,
in here.
We need an IP to attach to this.
We need an IP, and I want to keep it in Mario Kart just because Nintendo, like we were saying earlier, it would be great to do a if we could pin that story down. I think Nintendo would really lend itself to the wacky characters in this apocalyptic situation,
right?
But at the same time,
as they're known to do.
At the same time, like
It's Mario. Old Mario came back from the future in the apocalypse, and that's why he's helping Mario to build the quantum flux engine or whatever.
Right, to fix the past.
But
here's where I was going. Here's where I was. The Mario Kart will do outside characters. They'll have Isabelle from
Animal Crossing.
From Animal Crossing in there occasionally, or an Inkling, a Squid Kid. What if it was Mario cross GTA? So you can play as, you're racing as Donkey Kong against Nico from GTA 4 or whatever.
And you can roll up as DDD up to the Cluck and Bell and place Big Smoke's order.
Another thing that I think would lend itself to this concept would be like really like a good story. GTA has good story, right?
Does it?
And
I don't
think
know.
So. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a focus on story. And
okay, because everyone I know just plays either mods or they just walk around the city and shoot people.
There's a focus on story, but there's also like a strong focus on character, right? And that's why those games are as tight as they are. So how do we? Like, Mario, no Mario Kart game has ever had a story, but like, if we use,
that's a bold statement.
No, it's true. Prove me wrong. But I'm saying, if we learn from Super Smash Bros. Brawl and we take their story mode, we do a similar thing.
Right. Okay. So no talking.
No talking. Okay. I'm forming an idea. We need a main character that you play as.
Can't be Mario. Can't be Nico.
Can't be Mario, can't be Nico, obviously. Those are like warring factions.
Right, okay.
I immediately, because it's my wacky brain wanted to
Bowser
say Donkey
on
Kong.
Mario's side?
I think he has to be, yeah.
Okay.
They're in Mad Max, there's a character that's like I think it's in the third one where he's like this big dude in like a gimp suit, but then he has like a little guy on his shoulders.
Ew, okay.
And it's like the big and little thing. And so that's Bowser and Mario.
Right, okay. And Donkey and Diddy.
And Donkey and Diddy. Okay, so I was going to say, like, I wanted to do something with Donkey Kong because that's where my brain went immediately, but the whole Donkey Kong crew could be their own kind of faction as well, right. And that would make sense.
So you get to choose if you want to play as the Donkey Kongs, the Marios.
Okay, you're right. You should choose which faction to team up with, but I think we choose like one main character.
Sure. Okay.
So I say we go by. No. We can't add more characters. Don't be stupid. Let's go by like aerodynamic. Okay, no, I got it. Work with me within these parameters. Here's my question. Who is the most aerodynamic Mario character, and why is it Waluigi?
Okay, yeah, Waluigi hasn't gotten a game yet.
He doesn't have a game, and if there's any game that's perfectly suited for a solo campaign Waluigi game,
kind of character that's been kicked to the side over and over. Right? It's like it's a setup. It's a setup for a game just like this. What is it? Have you seen the thing that's like Luigi is a reflection of Mario. Wario is an inversion of Mario. So no matter how you look at it, Waluigi is either a reflection of an inversion or an inversion of a reflection.
That's brilliant. Mm-hmm. That's poetry, even.
Honestly.
So what we have in front of us right now, a couple in our Frankenstein's monster of pitches. It's a ensemble kart racing game with a story mode. Within the story mode, you play as Waluigi.
You build your own kart.
The gameplay includes building, like fine-tuning and crafting your own kart out of scrap metal that you find among the wasteland.
Right.
You are by a time-traveling older Mario, I guess.
So in the future, like they've made up. Or he has realized that the only way he can save the future is by teaming up with
his enemy.
Waluigi.
Yeah. So we're getting somewhere.
The answer was in front
of
him all along, and he just didn't realize it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
I mean, I'm picturing gameplay, right? And I'm sure you have the exact same image as me.
We probably need the realism of GTA. I mean,
yes.
I mean, I know GTA isn't like what's the word? It's not like photorealistic, but we need that. We need to strive for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That photorealistic landscape. But then we just need like Wario's grotesque spider legs. What? What are they?
And he's in like a modified big rig.
He's in a modified big rig.
And all of these carts are
up against his chest because he's so long and lanky.
Because he's so large, and he's like. With the GTA photorealistic graphics, you see just how like gross his skin is.
Yeah, his nose is like a different color from his body.
Right, and that's because of like grease and
it's just
whatnot.
Covered in like just the worst.
These vehicles, because they're craftable, you create them. They're also completely destructible.
Right.
So there's that element to it. There's also the element of people can just jump out of their carts and steal from you, and all of your progress, all this time you spent. Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, I mean
GTA,
that's how you get people out of their cars in GTA.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I feel like Waluigi already packs a gun. Like in all of the other games that he's been in, the few games that he's been in, I feel like he just has his piece on him at all times.
He looks like you know what? I'm looking at a picture of his just awful body,
Yeah.
Not to be listen, he's our main character, but so that's the thing. You see his legs, the way that like the it kind of like he has these.
Is that
cuffs,
from the radiation
like
in this Wasteland universe?
Okay, that's a good point. Let's talk about how this apocalypse happened, just like story wise. I kind of want to say it had to do with the GTA universe colliding with the Mario universe.
Okay, so a little bit of a meta kind of thing.
Yeah.
We could do we could have an opening cutscene where a kid tries to put, GTA 5 and Super Mario Bros. 2 discs into his Wii at the same time, and
just like he's just shoving them like both in there.
But he tries to do the Sonic and Knuckles thing.
right.
The ride along or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that could work.
And that creates the Fallout world.
Yeah, but instead of it being a game now, they come out of the screen. Putting the two discs together causes them to escape. And
okay, so there are three elements here. It's okay. Actually, I like that a lot. It's the Mario world. It's the GTA world, but they're inside of our world.
And our world is an apocalypse.
This is cutting edge, Glenn. This is like
it could also be VR.
It could be VR.
You can't
sure.
Keep adding things. Honestly, a VR game like about building engines would be. I wonder if My Summer Car is VR. I feel like it would be.
You could do that thing. You would have to purchase a little.
You use the Wii Fit balance board as like the thing that like people.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
With.
You slide under the car. Yeah. I'm still just looking at this picture of Waluigi. My point being, he has those little cuffed pants. I bet he could keep like a little gun in there.
Yeah, definitely.
That seems like an ankle holster. Boy, his mustache is. You ever just think about like.
He's got like these bags under his eyes.
The bags under his eyes are something.
Uh-huh.
And in an apocalypse, that makes sense. That's like.
Right.
You can see the way this world is affecting him.
Yeah.
So, let's close the show.
But would you say that that as podcasters, I am a reflection of an inversion of you? Or would you say I'm more like an inversion of a reflection?
I would say that our show is a time portal to the past.
To the past, okay. Elaborate.
Is how I would describe our show. No.
Okay, cool.
Folks, that's the show. If you want to reach out to us, our email is developmentheaven@gmail.com.
If you like the show, let us know. You can do so via Twitter. Our handle? Do the people say Twitter handle? Our Twitter user is @devhevpod. That's DEVHEVPOD.
And this episode 12 is our season finale for season 1.
Farewell.
Which just farewell, so long, thanks for all the fish. Just means that we're going to take a small little teeny break.
A break. Actually, I would say it means that this is the last you'll ever hear from us. After this, we will transcend and move on. So
see, but I wouldn't say that because
we'll catch
what
you
we're
on
going to do.
The other side being, just guess.
we're gonna keep making content. So it won't be blackout from us. You'll hear from us. We'll keep making stuff. We're just going to take a small break.
That's a promise.
From the main show to center ourselves, work out any changes we want to make to season 2. But it will be a better product as a result. And we will, we're students, which is the real reason is that we need to focus a little bit more on school right now. But
we appreciate all the love that we've gotten so far. From,
absolutely, and
all of our friends and all of our listeners in general.
Like we said, we aren't leaving. We'll still be here, and anytime you want to reach out, like we said, seriously, we really do appreciate all the support that you guys show. So,
and for real, we want to, we want to get to know you. So come on and join our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. It'll be a good way for us to keep in touch with all of our fans when we're not making regular DHP episodes, and hopefully you can be involved in helping us improve the channel.
Also, one final thing. We are going to come back October 31st for a special Halloween episode.
Is it going to be on the 31st?
Yeah, let's release it on the 31st so people who are bored on Halloween can listen to it.
Okay. I thought it would be that Tuesday, but that works too. That works even better, honestly.
Mm-hmm. So look forward to that. Glenn, you did our intro music. The song is called Bird. It's on SoundCloud. Wait, I have to thank you because it leads into...
Yeah, you have to say thank you to Glenn.
I specifically have to say thank you to Glenn for the intro music. The song is called Bird on SoundCloud. It is linked in the description.
Also linked are Matthew Inney and Natalie Quick. Matthew did our various logos, and Natalie did some great work on our cover art, so thank you to them, and thank you to you for listening.
Anyway, tell a friend, and
tell a friend you love them.
Yeah, that's nice.